What if your motivation to work comes not from internal passion, but a programmed dopamine release? What if your serenity in conflict is the result of serotonin modulation from your enhancement pack? What if your dreams, ambitions, even your intuition begin to flatten, not because they faded naturally, but because a patch muted the electrical storm that once gave birth to them? What then is left of the real you? And here's the darkest piece of the puzzle. Most people will consent to this, not because they understand it, but because they fear falling behind. Enhancement will be sold as an edge. In education, children will be offered cognitive nanobot support to keep up with testing demands. In corporations, burnout prevention bots will become part of wellness packages. In military contracts, emotional stabilization bots will be pitched as safety protocols. At first, the upgrades will seem optional, but over time, refusing will be seen as irresponsible, uncompetitive, even suspicious. When enough people are enhanced, the natural will be reframed as inferior. But this path doesn't just flatten the human, it flattens the sacred. When your body no longer signals when it needs rest, when your brain no longer cycles through grief and joy organically, and when your emotions are modulated for performance, you lose the spiritual language of the body. You no longer cry because something touched your soul. You pause because the bot reduced the cortisol spike. You no longer feel awe or grief in sacred timing. You feel what the system allows. The very struggles that once forged character and spirit are ironed out in the name of functionality. And this matters deeply, because every spiritual tradition teaches that transformation comes through the body. The ache, the hunger, the fatigue, the ecstasy, the illness, the recovery, the dark night of the soul that breaks you open. If bots remove that friction, they don't just optimize you. They rob you of the initiation that reveals who you are. Even worse, we're already seeing how this technology could shape entire generations. Enhancement protocols are being marketed as preventative care, with some biotech firms exploring the introduction of cognitive nanobots in children as young as 7. The reasoning? Give them a head start. Prevent mental illness. Level the playing field. But what happens to a child raised with performance-regulating bots? A child who never learns the beauty of failure, the necessity of boredom, the chaos of real emotion? That child doesn't grow. They perform. They obey.